Good afternoon, Jacks and Jills. I'm SirDimwi, and this is 3-Minute Meta. Bubble defense is going to be the final topic I cover in what I am calling the core of this series. This is not the end of 3-Minute Meta, but it is the end of this more structured and general section. Each new video in the series will be covering a specific aspect of strategy, going into a short deep dive or breakdown of why strategy did or did not work in a given scenario, or covering other topics that this first section did not, such as launch configurations or more specific plays in a given scheme. But with that out of the way, let's talk about bubble defense. The concepts behind bubble defense are fairly simple and straightforward. If the offense breaks through mid, drop back and defend the bubble. Once you're in the bubble, coordinate your coverage. Cover lanes at the edge and cover bodies in the bubble. And most importantly, never leave the goal uncovered. Of course, in simplifying to such a degree, we're ignoring a lot of nuance and more specific strategies. But much like everything else in Echo Arena, the specifics can be innumerable, and the meta, particularly in regards to defense, is still actively evolving. When set up in the bubble, it is common to see the offense hold the disc deep in the neutral zone. Their intent is to draw out your defense. In general, if you have the lead, you can let them sit there and burn the clock down. However, if you are behind, all that time lost is time that you could use to regain the lead. If you decide to challenge the disc carrier, there are two general options, single or chain. The trade-offs here should be apparent. A single player is more vulnerable and will generally take longer to get back to the bubble. But if they get stuck out, you are down only that one player. A chain, on the other hand, may be more effective and can get back to the bubble quicker, but if they get stuck out, you're down two players. Neither option is more ideal as a rule. It ultimately comes down to which option your specific team is better at executing or which option your specific opponent is more vulnerable to. If the offense is setting up just outside the bubble, commit your defenders to covering their shot lanes. In general, don't leave the bubble to cover the player, but rather stay inside the bubble while keeping your body between that player and the goal. As the offense starts sending players into the bubble, these players should be called or assigned and covered man-to-man. Be mindful of stunning here, as a poorly timed stun on your part could end up as a well-timed invulnerability on their part. If coverage is solid, the disc carrier may opt to drive in instead of pass. If a defender is going to dive at the carrier, they should be diving in the pass lane to the player they were otherwise covering. Alternatively, if the goalie decides to dive, whether at a diving player or a loose disc, the nearest defender should immediately rotate into the goal to cover for the goalie. There are many specific coordination and coverage options while defending the bubble. However, the manner in which you assign players to coverage is less important than simply coordinating those assignments. As long as you take that first step in coordination, your specific tactics can evolve over time. So that's it for the core of 3-Minute Meta. It may or may not be a few weeks before the next part of the series continues, but it will return. I want to thank each and every one of you for taking the time to learn the meta of Echo Arena. This VR sport has become my passion, and your success is my success. The only way this sport becomes the thing we all want it to be is if we become the players we are all determined to become. So again, thank you for your interest in the Echo Arena meta. With all that said, I've been SirDimwi. Please like, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful season.